Harvey Specter is standing in front of a judge. The prosecution just asked for an emergency trial date. Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Harvey has 24 hours to prepare for the biggest case of his career. The prosecutor is smiling. She has 3 years of investigation, hundreds of witnesses, thousands of documents. She has everything she needs to destroy Harvey's client. Harvey has one night. Everyone in the courtroom thinks Harvey is finished. They think there is no way he can prepare a defense in 24 hours. They are about to learn why Harvey Specter is the best closer in New York City. This is the story of how Harvey Specter turned 24 hours into the greatest cross-examination anyone had ever seen. It started 3 hours earlier. Harvey is in his office at Pearson Hardman. He is reviewing a contract for a merger. His phone rings. It is his client, Richard Vance. Richard owns a pharmaceutical company. He sounds panicked. "Harvey, the feds just served me," Richard says. His voice is shaking. Harvey sits up straight. "Served you with what?" he asks. "Criminal charges," Richard responds. "They are saying I falsified drug trial data. Harvey, I did not do this." "Where are you right now?" Harvey asks. "My office," Richard tells him. "Stay there," Harvey says. "I am on my way." Harvey hangs up. He grabs his jacket. This is bad. Federal drug charges carry serious prison time. If Richard is convicted, he loses everything. His company, his reputation, his freedom. Donna appears in the doorway. "Where are you going?" she asks. "Richard Vance just got hit with federal charges," Harvey tells her. "I need to see what we are dealing with." Donna's face gets serious. "Federal prosecutors do not move unless they have a solid case," she says. "I know," Harvey responds. "That is what worries me." Harvey arrives at Richard's office 40 minutes later. Richard is sitting at his desk. He looks 10 years older than he did last week. There are federal documents spread across his desk. Harvey picks up the indictment. He reads it quickly. His face does not change. But inside, he knows this is worse than he thought. "They are saying you falsified safety data for Cardoxil," Harvey says. "Your heart medication." "I did not falsify anything," Richard insists. "Every test was legitimate." Harvey keeps reading. "They have testimony from 3 of your researchers. They are saying you ordered them to hide adverse effects." Richard stands up. "Those researchers were fired for incompetence," he says. "They are lying to save themselves." "Can you prove that?" Harvey asks. Richard hesitates. "I have emails, performance reviews, documentation of their mistakes." "Good," Harvey says. "I will need all of it." Richard hands him a thick folder. "There is more," he says quietly. "The lead prosecutor is Amanda Reeves." Harvey knows that name. Amanda Reeves is the best federal prosecutor in New York. She has a 97% conviction rate. She does not bring cases unless she knows she will win. "When is the arraignment?" Harvey asks. "Tomorrow morning," Richard tells him. 10 a.m. Harvey nods. He has less than 24 hours to review 3 years of investigation. But he does not tell Richard that. He just picks up the folder and heads for the door. "Get some sleep," Harvey says. "Tomorrow we fight back." Harvey drives back to Pearson Hardman. It is 7 p.m. The office is mostly empty. He goes straight to his office and starts reading. The case file is massive. The prosecution has been building this for 3 years. They have interviewed 200 witnesses. They have subpoenaed 5,000 documents. They have expert testimony from 4 different doctors. Harvey reads for 2 hours straight. He does not stop. He does not take breaks. He just reads. Mike Ross appears in the doorway. "Donna told me you caught a federal case," Mike says. Harvey looks up. "Richard Vance. Drug fraud charges." "How bad?" Mike asks. "Amanda Reeves is prosecuting," Harvey tells him. Mike's eyes widen. Everyone knows Amanda Reeves. She is ruthless. She is brilliant. She never loses. "What do you need?" Mike asks. "Coffee," Harvey says. "And you?" "We have until tomorrow morning to find a defense." Mike sits down. Harvey hands him half the file. They both start reading. At 11 p.m., Jessica Pearson walks into Harvey's office. She is still wearing her court suit from earlier. She looks at the files covering Harvey's desk. "I heard about Richard Vance," Jessica says. "This is a career case, Harvey." "I know," Harvey responds. "Amanda Reeves has spent 3 years on this," Jessica continues. "She has a team of 6 prosecutors. She has the full weight of the federal government behind her. And you have less than a day." Harvey meets her eyes. "Then I better not waste any more time," he says. Jessica studies him for a moment. "Do you have a defense?" she asks. "Not yet," Harvey admits. "But I will." Jessica nods slowly. "I did not make you one of my partners because you take easy cases. she tells him. I made you a partner because you win impossible cases, so win this one. She leaves. Harvey goes back to reading. At 2 a.m., Mike finds something. Harvey, look at this, he says. Harvey walks over to Mike's desk. Mike is holding a deposition transcript. It is from one of the researchers who is testifying against Richard. This witness, Dr. Karen Foster, Mike says. She claims she told Richard about the adverse effects in March of 2007. So? Harvey asks. So she could not have, Mike responds. She did not start working at Vance Pharmaceuticals until June of 2007. Harvey takes the transcript. He reads it carefully. Mike is right. The timeline does not match. Dr. Foster is lying about when she started working there. How did the prosecution miss this? Mike asks. They did not miss it, Harvey says. They buried it. They have so much evidence that one mistake does not matter to them, but it matters to us. Harvey grabs his phone. He calls Donna. She answers on the second ring. It is 2 a.m, Donna says, but she does not sound surprised. I need you to pull employment records for Dr. Karen Foster at Vance Pharmaceuticals, Harvey tells her. I need proof of her start date. I will have it on your desk by 6 a.m, Donna responds. She hangs up. Mike looks at Harvey. One witness with a bad timeline is not enough to win this case, he says. I know, Harvey says, but it is a start. Now we find the rest. They keep reading. The sun comes up. Harvey has not slept. Neither has Mike. They have been working for 11 hours straight. At 7 a.m, Donna walks in with coffee and a file folder. Employment records, she says. Dr. Foster started June 15th, 2007. The prosecution's timeline is impossible. Harvey takes the folder. What else? He asks. I pulled records for the other 2 witnesses, Donna tells him. Dr. James Chen and Dr. Robert Morrison. Chen was on vacation in Europe during one of the meetings he claims to have attended. Morrison's testimony about a December meeting is also impossible. Richard Vance was in Japan for a pharmaceutical conference that entire month. I have his travel records. Harvey almost smiles. The prosecution's case is built on false testimony. The witnesses are lying, and Harvey can prove it. How did you get all this so fast? Mike asks Donna. Because I am Donna, she responds. And I always know what Harvey needs before he asks. She leaves. Harvey looks at Mike. We have them, he says. Every major witness has a timeline problem. Once we expose one lie in cross-examination, the entire case falls apart. We still need to prepare our cross-examination questions, Mike says. Court starts in 2 hours. Then we better get started, Harvey tells him. At 8:30 a.m, Harvey puts on his court suit. It is a black Tom Ford, his best closing suit. He is not going to an arraignment. He is going to war. Louis Litt appears in Harvey's office. I heard you are taking on Amanda Reeves today, Louis says. Harvey straightens his tie. That is right, he responds. I've been studying her for years, Louis tells him. She is the best prosecutor in the city. Her conviction rate is legendary. You cannot beat her. Harvey looks at Louis. Watch me, he says. Harvey and Mike arrive at federal court at 9 a.m. The courtroom is packed. Amanda Reeves is already there. She is sitting at the prosecution table with 5 other lawyers. They have boxes of evidence stacked behind them. Harvey walks to the defense table. He is carrying one file folder. That is all he has. Richard Vance is brought in. He is wearing a suit, but he looks terrified. He sits down next to Harvey. Did you find something? Richard whispers. Yes, Harvey says quietly. Trust me. The judge enters. Everyone stands. Judge Marcus Reynolds is a federal judge with 30 years of experience. He does not waste time. Mr. Specter, I understand you are representing Mr. Vance, Judge Reynolds says. Harvey stands. Yes, Your Honor, he responds. And you received these charges only yesterday, the judge continues. That is correct, Your Honor, Harvey says. Amanda Reeves stands up. Your Honor, the government is ready to proceed with an emergency preliminary hearing, she says. We have substantial evidence of criminal conduct. Mr. Vance poses a flight risk. We request he be held without bail. Judge Reynolds looks at Harvey. Mr. Specter, this is highly unusual. Are you prepared to defend against these charges today? Harvey does not hesitate. Yes, Your Honor, he says. I am prepared. Amanda Reeves looks surprised. She expected Harvey to ask for a continuance. She expected him to need more time. But Harvey Specter never gives ground. Very well, Judge Reynolds says. Miss Reeves, call your first witness. Amanda stands. The government calls Dr. Karen Foster, she announces. Dr. Foster walks to the witness stand. She is sworn in. She sits down. She looks confident. Amanda walks her through her testimony. Dr. Foster explains how she worked at Vance Pharmaceuticals, how she conducted drug trials for Cardoxil, how Richard Vance ordered her to hide dangerous side effects, how she refused and was fired. Her testimony is devastating. She is clear. She is detailed. She is believable. Amanda finishes. "No further questions, Your Honor," she says. She sits down. She looks satisfied. Judge Reynolds looks at Harvey. "Your witness, Mr. Specter," he says. Harvey stands up. He does not rush. He never rushes. He walks slowly to the witness stand. He is holding his file folder, but he does not open it. "Dr. Foster, you testified that you told Mr. Vance about adverse drug effects in March of 2007, Harvey says. Is that correct?" "Yes," Dr. Foster responds. "That is correct." "You are certain about that date?" Harvey asks. "March 2007? "Absolutely certain," Dr. Foster says. "I remember it clearly." Harvey nods. "And this conversation took place at Vance Pharmaceuticals?" "In Mr. Vance's office." "Yes," Dr. Foster confirms. Harvey opens his file folder. "Dr. Foster, when did you start working at Vance Pharmaceuticals?" he asks. Dr. Foster looks confused. "I worked there for 2 years," she says. "I did not ask how long you worked there," Harvey says. His voice is calm. "I asked when you started." "I started in 2007, Dr. Foster responds. "What month?" Harvey presses. Dr. Foster hesitates. "Early 2007, she says. Harvey pulls out a document. "Your Honor, I would like to introduce Defense Exhibit A," he says. Dr. Foster's employment records from Vance Pharmaceuticals. He hands a copy to Amanda Reeves. Her face changes. She grabs the document. She reads it quickly. Harvey continues. "According to these records, Dr. Foster, you began working at Vance Pharmaceuticals on June 15, 2007. Is that correct?" The courtroom goes silent. Dr. Foster stares at the document. I must have been mistaken about the date," she stammers. "Mistaken," Harvey repeats. "You testified under oath that you had a specific conversation with Mr. Vance in March. You said you were absolutely certain. Now you are saying you were mistaken." "The conversation happened," Dr. Foster insists. "It must have been later in the year." "Later in the year," Harvey says. "When exactly?" "I do not remember the exact date," Dr. Foster admits. Harvey does not stop. "You testified that this was a crucial moment. The moment you discovered Mr. Vance was falsifying data. You said you remember it clearly, but now you cannot remember when it happened." Dr. Foster looks at Amanda Reeves. Amanda cannot help her. The prosecution's first witness just fell apart. "No further questions," Harvey says. He walks back to his table. Judge Reynolds looks at Amanda. "Redirect, Miss Reeves?" he asks. Amanda stands. She tries to salvage her witness, but the damage is done. Dr. Foster's credibility is destroyed. After 15 minutes, Amanda gives up. Dr. Foster is excused. She leaves the courtroom looking defeated. Amanda calls her second witness, Dr. James Chen. He testifies about a meeting where Richard Vance discussed hiding drug data. The meeting was supposed to have happened in August of 2008. Harvey stands for cross-examination. He does not waste time. "Dr. Chen, you testified about a meeting on August 12, 2008, Harvey says. "Yes," Dr. Chen confirms. Harvey pulls out another document. "According to these travel records, you were in Barcelona, Spain, from August 8 through August 18, 2008. You were attending a medical conference." Dr. Chen's face goes pale. "You could not have been at a meeting in New York on August 12th, Harvey continues. "You were in Europe. So either you are lying about the meeting, or you are lying about the conference. Which is it, Dr. Chen?" Dr. Chen does not answer. He looks at Amanda Reeves again. She is reading the travel records Harvey just provided. Her face shows nothing, but Harvey can see it in her eyes. She knows her case is falling apart. Harvey destroys the second witness in 10 minutes. Amanda calls her third witness, Dr. Robert Morrison. He testifies about a December meeting. Harvey cross-examines him. He produces travel records showing Richard Vance was in Japan that entire month. Dr. Morrison cannot explain how he had a meeting with someone who was on another continent. 3 witnesses, 3 lies exposed. The prosecution's case is collapsing. Judge Reynolds looks at Amanda Reeves. "Miss Reeves, do you have any other witnesses?" he asks. His tone suggests he already knows the answer. Amanda stands. "Your Honor, the government requests a continuance to review these new documents," she says. "These are not new documents, Miss Reeves," Judge Reynolds says sharply. "These are basic employment and travel records. Your office should have verified these timelines before bringing charges." "Your Honor, We have extensive documentary evidence, Amanda argues. Expert testimony, financial records, built on the testimony of 3 witnesses who just perjured themselves in my courtroom, Judge Reynolds interrupts. Miss Reeves, I am dismissing these charges. The government's case lacks credibility. Amanda sits down heavily. She just lost. Amanda Reeves, who never loses, just lost to Harvey Specter. Judge Reynolds looks at Richard Vance. Mr. Vance, you are free to go. All charges are dismissed with prejudice. They cannot be refiled. Richard starts to cry. He turns to Harvey. You did it, he says. I cannot believe you actually did it. Harvey stands up. He collects his file. That is what I do, he says simply. Outside the courthouse, reporters surround Harvey. They all want to know how he prepared a defense in 24 hours, how he destroyed the prosecution's case so completely. Harvey does not answer their questions. He just walks to his car. Mike follows him. That was incredible, Mike says. You tore apart 3 years of investigation in 2 hours. They made it easy, Harvey responds. They had so much evidence they stopped checking the details. They assumed their witnesses were telling the truth. They never verified the timelines. How did you know to look at the timelines? Mike asks. Harvey looks at him. Because I always look for the weakness, he says. Every case has one. The prosecution thought their weakness was buried under thousands of documents. They were wrong. Back at Pearson Hardman, the entire office is waiting. Word spread fast. Harvey Specter just beat Amanda Reeves. He took a case everyone said was impossible and turned it into a victory. Jessica is waiting in her office. Harvey walks in. I heard, Jessica says. You embarrassed the federal prosecutor's office. Amanda Reeves is going to have to answer questions about how 3 of her witnesses committed perjury. She should have done her homework, Harvey responds. Jessica almost smiles. I told you to win, she says. I did not tell you to humiliate them. That was just a bonus, Harvey says. Louis appears in the doorway. Harvey, I owe you an apology, he says. I said you could not beat Amanda Reeves. I was wrong. Harvey looks at him. Yes, you were, he says. But there is no anger in his voice. Just fact. Donna walks in with a newspaper. Tomorrow's headline, she says. She shows it to Harvey. The headline reads, Specter destroys federal case in 2 hours. Harvey looks at it. He hands it back to Donna. Frame it, he tells her. That evening, Harvey is back in his office. The case files are still spread across his desk. He did not sleep for 36 hours. But he won. Mike walks in. Richard Vance just called, he says. He wants to take you to dinner to celebrate. Tell him I am busy, Harvey responds. Doing what? Mike asks. Harvey looks at the files. Preparing for the next case, he says. There is always another case. Mike smiles. You just pulled off the impossible, he says. Maybe take 1 night off? Harvey considers this. 1 drink, he says finally, then back to work. They go to Harvey's usual bar. Harvey orders his usual scotch. Mike gets a beer. They sit at the bar in silence for a moment. Can I ask you something? Mike says. Go ahead, Harvey responds. Did you ever doubt you could win? Mike asks. Harvey takes a drink. He thinks about the question. Yes, he admits. For about 5 minutes. When I first saw how much evidence they had. When I realized Amanda Reeves spent 3 years building this case, I thought maybe this time I met my match. What changed? Mike asks. I remembered who I am, Harvey says. I am Harvey Specter. I do not lose. Not to anyone. Not even to Amanda Reeves. So I found a way to win. Mike nods. He understands now. Harvey's confidence is not arrogance. It is not luck. It is skill built on years of hard work and preparation. Harvey wins because he refuses to accept any other outcome. To winning the impossible, Mike says. He raises his glass. Harvey clinks his glass against Mike's. To doing what everyone says cannot be done, he responds. They finish their drinks. Harvey pays. They walk back to the office together. Harvey has another case to prepare. Another client to defend. Another impossible situation to turn into a victory. Because that is what Harvey Specter does. He takes cases other lawyers would run from. He faces prosecutors everyone fears. He walks into court when everyone expects him to lose. And he wins. Amanda Reeves had 3 years. She had 6 prosecutors. She had hundreds of witnesses and thousands of documents. She had the full power of the federal government behind her. Harvey Specter had 24 hours. He had 1 associate. He had 1 file folder. And he had something Amanda Reeves did not have. He had the ability to see the one weakness that would tear apart the entire case. That is why Harvey Specter is the best closer in New York City. Not because he wins the easy cases, but because he wins the impossible ones. The cases where he is outnumbered and outgunned and out of time. The cases where everyone expects him to fail. Harvey Specter had 24 hours to prepare for trial. In those 24 hours, he destroyed 3 years of investigation. He exposed 3 witnesses as liars. He turned a guaranteed conviction into a complete dismissal. And tomorrow, he will do it all over again, because that is what legends do. They make the impossible look easy. They turn defeats into victories. They win when everyone says they cannot. Harvey Specter does not lose. Today was no exception.